And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Reachin and Teachin podcast presented by CEI Esports. I'm your host, Robinson. I'm joined by my co-host, Johnny. Give me a high five.
Yo,
right here in person. Right there. We're right across from each other. We're doing our thing. And we have a guest. Johnny, how many times have you been on the show?
Man, it's got to be about 3 or 4 times, man. I think you got to take another class. Because, right, he's in the Best Friends Club, right? So, BlkFrankWhite, you're in the Best Friends Club, right?
And then it was Thunder Buddies for Life.
Buddies for Life.
And the fourth one? I've been listening to Jack Harlow recently, right?
Okay,
and his new
okay.
song. Okay. I'm thinking first class. Like that's where he is. First class. That's where I'm thinking. This guy's first class has been giving us all the love. You see it in the description of the episode. You see in the name of the episode. It's BlkFrankWhite, the global community ambassador for the NBA 2K League, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on, my guy?
I'm good. Thank y'all for the super intro, man. I feel like I'm on my show. I love that.
It's such a crazy time in the 2K League. A lot of exciting things are happening. Season 5 is upon us. So let's get it going. First of all, let's talk about the offseason, how we got here. How would you describe the 2021-22 NBA 2K League offseason?
Chaotic.
No, we need a GIF.
Just with the changing a new format for me, sitting down with the business leads for the NBA and the NBA 2K League, and also sitting down with league operations, just figuring out what 3v3 was going to look like, how can you schedule it, even 5v5 with the new structure where there's no regular seasons, tournaments, trying to figure out that cadence, and it was a lot of work, but the fruits of that labor has been amazing. 3v3 has been epic, as you guys seen. We have a lot of community teams, doing really well, and it's just great to see.
So what were some goals and things you feel like you and the higher ups of the 2K League had to address this offseason to get to where you guys are?
Yeah, because like you mentioned, right, you have no regular season games, just strictly tournaments and the 3v3. So why do you feel like that was the method to go with for this season anyway, to kind of rejuvenize the NBA 2K League?
Well, it's just more about just connecting with the everyday casual 2K player, right? I think, we have for lack of a better word, the market is locked for 5v5. We have the best 5v5 product in the world. It was just about, hey, we want to give a path to amateurs that they can come in and compete without having to have an actual franchise. And we said, well, let's create 3v3. We did some test runs. You saw 3v3 Showdown. We did that a couple of years, and that was very well received by just content creators, influencers, and the actual casual 2K gamer. So I think what 3v3 allows us to do is allow everyone who doesn't have 15 plus hours a day to dedicate becoming a pro to dream the same dream as a pro.
Now, let's talk about the tip-off tournament. It just concluded. The T-Wolves Gaming is a champion, back-to-back champions. What are some major – tell the people some of the major changes, because if they didn't follow what were the rules that you guys implemented, obviously when you guys come in, it's a whole different system. You got a point system. Guys get to pick who they get to play. Well, talk about those major changes, and what were you guys going for when you guys were developing this new format?
Yeah, no, definitely. That feels like a lifetime ago, but just only because we're moving so fast this year. But yes, for 5v5, the tip-off tournament powered by AT&T, we were able. The first thing we wanted to do is change the dynamic, right? So what happens is normally we have a schedule partner. We send them the information. They pump out a schedule. So we try to keep it as random and competitively fair as humanly possible. But this year it was like, let's just flip it on its head and say, hey, the teams get to pick who they want to compete against or who they don't want to compete against. So teams were able to technically draft their groups. So how did it work? So if I was number 1 seed in the playoffs last year, so I think T-Wolves Gaming got the first pick. You're able to pick for the other group that's in the Western Conference. So they picked for, I believe, the Pacers Gaming's group. So I think they picked like Kingsguard Gaming, right? Actually, they sent the Jazz away because they were scared of Jazz, but they sent away the Jazz. So that process continued until we got to all 24 teams, and it's a really cool, unique way. I think the franchises, head coaches, GMs, they loved it because Now you, instead of always hearing the complaint, oh, this group is better than that group. Now you can't say that. You picked your group. So now it takes a lot of that pressure off of them to say, or for us in the sense of, and it makes it more exciting because now you know who you're going against. Now you know why you picked them, why they're there. It's not random where you kind of feel like, oh, I got set up. But it's been exciting. And then I think you said part two is what after that. I'm trying to remember what the other part of your question was. Yeah.
What was your intentions when you created this format? I know you said it's exciting. Were you trying to make it spicy? Were you trying to make it? I'm not saying toxic, but you're trying to make it things spicy and interesting amongst
create them storylines,
rivalries, etc.
Storylines, storylines, man.
Great question. The second part of it is more in terms of like we just looked at the landscape of esports. I tell people every time, this is 2K League is the best in this business in esports. But we always the beauty of that is we're not, what's the best word I'm looking for? We have no problem learning, if that's the best way to say it. So what we did, or what Brendan Donahue did, was he went to every big league, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Valorant, and he just sat down, CSGO. It's like, hey, he sat down on their leads and said, what is your structure versus our structure? Because our structure, as you guys know, in the past few years, always felt like a real NBA season. Yes, we had tournaments. We had the tip off and the turn and the ticket, but all powered by AT&T. But it still was regular season, tournament, then playoffs and finals. So what we realized is it's a lot of dog days when you have a regular season, right? And they're even trying to figure it out in all major sports, right? Even the NBA, they're trying to add tournaments. Even the WNBA has the Commissioner's Cup. So it's like we try to figure out more exciting ways to bring you the product. So we said, okay, we looked at the landscape and we said, okay, let's just build a tournament-only system. What that allows for, every game has to count. Every game matters. There's no end of the season and you can come in, well, I made it into the playoffs. I'm good. I'm solidified. I'm not in the ticket. You have to win every game. The point system allows for that as well. So you get 1 point for every group play win, and as you go, and then the winner of the actual whole tournament, so like T-Wolves Gaming got 3 points for winning the tip-off. So that point system does allow you to now know where you're at in terms of playoff standings. Are you in? Are you out? Are you in the ticket? So I love the point system just because it requires every game to matter. Every game matters even more because every game is technically for money, right? You're playing every game for a tournament where the regular season might not have felt like that. So it does add, and it's helped. It's added exciting dynamic to what we're doing, and it's all best of ones, and except for after the first round of bracket play, and then we go into best of threes on the 5v5 side, which is amazing because the teams, Pro-Am has always been best of threes, best of five, best of sevens, but the best of ones have made it exciting. That's why you saw so many upsets in this last tip-off tournament, and expect that to be the trend. You don't have to be. The better team will probably always win the best of three, best of five, best of seven, but a best of one, you just have to be good for one game.
So that's that aspect of March Madness almost, right? Like that's kind of how that whole aura of March Madness, like that one and done seed. So yeah, the number 1 seed versus a 16th seed, and that might upset that 1 seed just because that on that night they were just that much better. So I think that creates a night of dynamic you said that can be exciting for the fans watching on YouTube, on Twitch, and also for the players themselves, because knowing that, hey, if we mess up today, we now in our A game, we can get cooked. We out of here packing the bags, going home. So that's pretty cool.
I think the process of that, the players aren't so happy about just because they had to go home, right? Like a great example is when Jazz Gaming lost to Mavs Gaming. That was the first time since season one. In season one, it happened in the playoffs with B5 and Knicks Gaming. Yeah. But that was the first time since season one, an 8 seed beat a 1 seed in our league. And I don't know if you saw the stream or not, but that's when Splashy grabbed his controller and threw it. Yeah. And I tell you something, because it's a beautiful thing because the Jazz at that time was 5-0 in the group. They felt like anybody they played, it was going to beat, but anything can happen on the stage in the best of one, and they had to learn that lesson the hard way. Yeah. And talking to Compete and even Splashy and Follow, they told me, it was like, hey, that'll never happen again. We'll never take an opponent lightly, because now they understand that that best of one changes it. Because you can have a bad game in a best of three, a best of five, a best of seven. The better team will lock in, make adjustments, and win. But in a best of one, you have 4 quarters to make it happen.
Yeah, and we saw Lakers gaming made a run, and they struggled last year. They had one of the worst records in the league, and they almost won the whole tournament.
Hey, yo, shout out to Nacho, B.
Yeah, shout out to Nacho, friend of the show. And then we have shout out. Yeah, that's the man. And then Gallo, Johnny, who was over here.
Oh yeah, Gen G in the building. BlkFrankWhite. Come on, man.
We had Johnny crying about Gen G all last year.
Man. We out here.
Pain. And then they started off great. They were one of the best teams out of the gate.
You're still one of the best teams right now. You seen the power rankings, bro? Come on, we out here, man. Stop playing with us, B. Come on, man.
You see the homerism.
Shout out to my boys Feast. Shout out to my boy Gallo. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Bumpy Don. You know what I'm saying? All of them, man. So I think staying on that topic. For you, BlkFrankWhite, what is the most impressive team or player out of the tip-off tournament that you saw these past couple weeks? So just let people know what your favorite is.
No, I think it's interesting. Even through all the changes of the structure of the season, we still ended up with the same tip-off final of last year.
Yeah.
Nice. Like you almost had me there. That commercial.
It tells you, it shows you that there's certain teams that prep for the start of the season a certain way and always have success, at least in this current format of the 2K League. So it was exciting to see, I think, T-Wolves Gaming is a great team. They have 4, amazing players, and they have a rookie now with DJ 2Co that really stepped up on the stage, which is what they probably was missing last year from Miles. Miles with King Kong. Miles is probably a better player, but still has stage presence he needs to work on. So having a young player that has stage presence to add to a team that already has tremendous stage presence was probably a great call by, JB and Nick Cartrell. But, I would say T-Wolves Gaming. I think, they're the best until 3v3 is over and we crown new champion for the Slam. So it's just really, that's how I would look at it in terms of like the best team on paper right now. I mean, they have the best leader in 2K and Bear the Beast. They have the best, one top 5 player in the world in Shifty Kai, one of the best locks in TB Shifty. So, sky's the limit for them.
And for the tournament, for the final portion of that final weekend, you guys were in Indy which is the hub for the NBA 2K League for this entire season. You guys introduced it back in February, early February, I believe. And so explain how that came about and what's been so cool about being in Indy thus far.
Yeah, I mean, we searched throughout the whole United States looking for a place, because the world was much different then than it is now. COVID, we have a better handle of it just on the world, right? Everyone, even in New York, mask mandates are being lifted, flight mask mandates are being lifted. So at the time, it was more like, hey, we want to make sure that we wanted to bring back in-person play, but we also wanted to be safe as humanly possible. So we searched and, we landed on Indy. Indy is a city that welcomed us with open arms. I don't know if you guys seen, but we was like all over every major sports thing in Indy in terms of news networks and, radio. So it tells you how much the city, a city of champions, what they call themselves, cares about bringing another championship product to their city. So I think it was really more they found us versus we found them,
And what's been something cool about Indy? Like you walking around Indy, like is there anything like food spots or any attraction? Be like, whoa, this is Indy got it.
That's interesting. I'm a big guy, but I haven't really ate at any of the quote unquote best indie spots yet, which is like say Elbows and some other spots. I haven't done that yet. I'm a Chick-fil-A boy, so I've been Chick-fil-A-ing it out. But we don't have that many in New York. We have the one in Brooklyn and the one in Manhattan. So I just be like, hey, if I can get Chick-fil-A, I'm gonna just eat Chick-fil-A. But I just love it. No, I think the best thing about Indy is the scooters. I think even though if you guys just recently saw Killy broke his head falling off a scooter, but you got to learn how to control the speed. I just love getting on a scooter, flying around downtown, and just seeing the sights. I have an amazing downtown, so I just love the architecture of the city and the buildings and they have some really cool restaurants and some old school restaurants like Johnny Donuts. I'm gonna try that next time I go back, and so I find that I'll have more restaurants for you guys whenever you guys drop down in Indy.
So you guys, Johnny was asking, you're a big Chick-fil-A guy. We are big Chick-fil-A guys as well. What's your go-to order at Chick-fil-A?
I get the nuggets with the waffle fries, and I always have to have the diet frozen lemonade. I just love it. That's really why.
The way you said it.
Diet frozen lemonade. That's different. I never heard that one before. Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
frosted lemonade is everything.
I gotta get the spicy chicken sandwich with no pickles. Thank you very much.
Nice.
So when I hear the pickles, I'm like, assault. I don't want any part of that. So it's disgusting. Anyways, we're talking. 3v3s are going on. What's been the biggest thing you guys noticed about 3v3s? And also, could we see possibly other versions of tournaments like that, like maybe 2v2s? You guys go 1v1s type of thing?
Yeah, I think, sky's the limit. Anything's possible. I think it's just about in terms of like 2v2s and 1v1s. I can see something like that for All-Star. Definitely. Just because we always, think about us, we'll always test something first in a very relaxed format to see if the audience gravitates towards it. So I could definitely see that in our future if the audience likes it and sees what they likes. But 3v3, the Coinbase Blacktop 3v3 series has been amazing. I think, like I said, the biggest element to it is the everyday gamer can play, and participate. And we're seeing that now, we have Met Gaming, which is known right now on the league build as Team Handles, and that's like non-elite shooter, K's the Lock in Miami. They're 2-0 right now. You have another team called Basketball Gods who are led by a big-time influencer by the name of Annoying or Mario HTXX. And the number one draft pick who should have been the number one draft pick this year, Eyeball Greens, but he dropped out the pool for family reasons. And another gentleman by the name of Loud, they're doing really well. Like they're both 2-0, right? So what does that tell you? That means there's a lot of people out here who have talent, who play threes, who don't have the time to sit through a whole 5v5 game that can compete with these pros and deserve an opportunity. So I'm excited that we're able to provide that now.
Mm.
It's still life-changing money, right? Because like they're pretty much get opportunity at pros prizing without the salary, which is amazing.
And do you think that provides them opportunity to kind of showcase their skills? I think obviously playing 3v3s, not having the time to commit those hours, like you said, to become a pro, I think it also allows them to kind of get, a nice firsthand look at how these guys compare against the actual pros in the league.
No, definitely. Two gentlemen in particular from the two teams I named, from Team Handles, K's the Lock. He stated last night in the press spaces that our community members hold every night after games that he's going for the league. He said he's giving himself till he graduates college, and he said this is he's not a hardcore 5v5 guy. So he's like, I can showcase my skills here and show you who I'm really am. This is what I do every day. Yeah. And as the drafts go along, as you know, this year's draft, we had one or two players that were 3v3 guys that got drafted. You'll see a trend heading towards up once season 6 and beyond on who's going to get drafted. It's more 3v3 based just because you want to fill out your roster accordingly. And then another great example of that is Eyeball Greens. Like I say, he was the number one draft pick, but he had to back out on the draft pool. Now he gets to play against the pros, show his skill set, and now people are saying as of last night that he should be number one pick. And next year's draft pool is going to be super guard heavy. So it's like all the best guards that were like 15, 16 are now 18. So you're talking about like Spam and Glizzy. So it's gonna be probably next year's draft pool. You guys will be excited. Will be the best probably just guards, like new guards that have been playing competitively for years that are really good. So a lot of point guards this year who are struggling, I pray for them, but they got to definitely. It's really like 5-6 guards coming out next year. That's going to be crazy.
So speaking of guards, we had a massive trade happen not too long ago involving one of the top guards in the league in 630 and Rezi. So talk about kind of that trade, how it went down between Pacers Gaming and Sixers Gaming. And obviously 630 being the former Rookie of the Year and MVP of last season. Do you think it was a win for both teams? Do you think that one team is more favored than the other? Tell us about it a little bit.
That's a great question. I mean, I'll speak on the trade in the sense of what 630 said on Twitter, which was, he felt like he wanted to play in games that matter. So I mean, take that for whatever you want to take it as. I think I'll say this, right? And you guys can check this trend. I always talk to like a lot of coaches GMs about this. I say, a lot of player forced trades, I haven't seen one work out yet. So what does that tell you? That means like sometimes I think, and this happens in real sports too, I think players think their talent can surpass the situation. But if I have success with one franchise, I'm not leaving that franchise until I'm no longer able to have success. That's just me. But I get it. He's ready to move forward. So a little background on that, like people don't know, like he was the one that pushed to move himself to 2 guard and bring in a point guard because he's trying to they're trying to create, or he was trying to create, the Shifty Cobb Bear Beast dynamic. The thing is, with 630 and that trade is 630 is a high usage guard. So if you would have asked me, if I put my former analyst hat on, do I think the trade with Vandy would have worked? I could have told you it wasn't going to work just because, yes, he wants to be more like Shifty Cobb. The beauty of Shifty Cobb is Shifty Cobb could play PG, but doesn't want to play PG. So he doesn't need a lot of touches to be great. He's like, hey, I'm going to get my touches because Bear's going to give it to me. And where 630 needs to bring up the ball and see the court. Yeah. So it's a great trade for both teams in the sense that 630 gets to go somewhere where he wants to play, and Reed gets the opportunity to keep shining because he just performed extremely well in the tip-off tournament. If they won the whole thing, he would have probably been the MVP of the tip-off tournament. So it's a great trade for both sides. Like I said, I've noticed the trend where if a player kind of demands their way out of a situation, it hasn't worked out, but this could be the first time. I wish him good luck. I just hope he knows what he's doing, because you're going from a team where you were the primary focus to a team where the point guard is already there, solidified. So it really does come down to how Jeff Terrell wants to work the offense. He has to find enough shots for both of those gentlemen to be satisfied. Now, what we're hearing from 630 is that, he feels like, hey, he understands it. Him and Dre are friends. They get it. Like, he knows he's the PG. He's going to play the 2 guard. So we'll see if it works out. But, high usage guards in this version of 2K in the league build don't have success just because they have success at 3v3 though. So I know it's happening. But they're not having success at 5v5. So that's why you're seeing like Radiant, they're 2-0. Philly is 2-0. Like even the Hawks now, they're having success. I think they're like 2-1 or something like that. The high usage guard doesn't work at 5v5 this year. You have to be able to pass the ball. If you see the league builds more dynamic, you're seeing backdoor cuts, you see all this other stuff. So you have to be able to pass more than you have to be able to hold the ball and try to get a work for a shot as a PG. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it was a great trade for both teams. I'm always going to be a fan if you get what you want. If you're a player, he got what he wanted. Reed got what he wanted, and I wish him the best of luck. But I always get concerned when star players move because the focus can't be you and another franchise. They already have a franchise player, right? That's just basic, right? 101, right? So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this guy averages well over 30, and like you said, it's high usage. So you got to be able to adjust to it. And obviously, when you move at this point of the season this early, a lot of stuff that you're planning on in the all season just gets scrapped just like that. So you're gonna have to adjust based off that as well. But now let's a couple more questions that we'll wrap up here. What are you personally looking forward to for this NBA 2K League season? All the new stuff, all the 3v3s, the tournaments, the formats, the trash talking with it. Because every time I see the stream, if they stand up, I'm assuming it's because either one, they're gonna rage, or two, they're gonna talk trash. So what's something that you look forward to this upcoming season, or something that people should look out for?
I'm just ready for the stage. We got a taste of it in Indiana for 5v5, and it was amazing. Get to see players like Bear the Beast, DT from 76ers Gaming, be in an element, right, and just change the dynamic of a game. I always tell people there's certain teams that get you like 5 to 10 points on the stage, and like T-Wolves is one of those teams. So it was great to see that. Now what I'm looking forward to is definitely 3v3. That first in person for the Coinbase Blacktop Series is going to be amazing at Indy, just because if we based it off what it looks like now, there's possibly 2 to 3 amateur teams that should make it to bracket play, which means that you're going to have, amateurs on the stage for the first time going against pros. I'm looking forward to that because I don't know if the amateurs are prepared for that, because one thing I learned about competitive 2K is you can lock in and then talk trash after. What makes our pros the best is because they can play and they talk trash during the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of, even you guys play video games. When you play, you're locked in, right? And you might talk trash if you win, but you're not talking trash throughout the duration of the game.
Nah, I'm talking throughout the duration of the game.
He's
You got to.
He's a liar.
Nah.
Robinson,
It has to be an environment, right? So if it's an environment where it's like heated, money's on the line, something like that, I gotta talk trash. It gets me going because I have to be like, I gotta lock in and talk my talk. At least get them out of their game so they can talk with me, and then they mess up. So that's how
he does it. He does it when he plays actual ball. When he plays 2K, he's just quiet. He just laughs.
You don't have money on the line, bro. It's different.
He's just like
he
was just like, yo, I just want to play, etc. This guy is,
bro. And that's a skill within itself, man. So, like I said, like that's the part I'm interested to see. Will the amateurs react? How would they react when the trash talking kicks in? Because think about it, with 3v3 currently right now, there's no timeouts. Yeah. So players are going to be standing up during the game and talking to them. And you have to come right back down the court and do something. And it's different than just talking to yourself, like you said, Johnny, on in a room. But so it's good. That's the part I'm curious to see.
All right.
So all right, we have reached the end of our time with you. Again, we thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Where can the people find you in all things NBA 2K League?
Yeah, you have everything down there below. Everything is BlkFrankWhite 1 on social. 2K League, as you guys know, NBA 2K League, Twitter, IG, Facebook, TikTok, we're everywhere. You can watch our games. Doing group play, it's Tuesday through Friday, and in remote play, it's Tuesday through Friday, and then Wednesday through Saturday in Indy. So just so you guys have that, and all games start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Twitch and YouTube, NBA 2K League.
All right, there you go. So that'll do it for this edition of the Reachin and Teachin podcast presented by CEI Esports. You can check us out, Reachin and Teachin on Instagram. That's Reachin and Teachin, no spaces, no G's, and Reachin or Teachin. You can check us out there. If you want to see the video, you can check us out there. You want to see Graham's green screen, which is I'm a big fan of green. Green's my favorite color. You can check it out on YouTube. And also, if you want to see the podcast version, Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor, check it out all there. You'll see why he's first class. So you'll see why he's a first class guest right there. So that'll do for this edition of the Reachin and Teachin podcast. We thank you so much, BlkFrankWhite. That is him. This is us, and we're out of here.